Welcome back. Hang on a second. Just need to check some small things. Live control. Okay, cool. All right. So you know that we've been conducting this series called Hacker Rank of Awesome, and it's going great. So today we'll be doing some more labs to increase the rank. So today we'll be looking at Hack the Box. So I accidentally hit update in this one because that's why we see some score, or else you would be seeing 0 right here. So first of all, how do you connect Hack the Box to this? So you go to Hack the Box, and here you have your username, right? Currently my username is starhat, and yeah, right here. So tarhat, and use that username right in this account section. So click on this account section and go to this linked sites and select your sites, which is Hack the Box. Oh, okay, where is it? Okay, okay, because I have already connected, I cannot see that. If you did not connect it, you will see Hack the Box right here. Okay, select that and select your username, and you have to give your email, which is connected to this Hack the Box, and then you have to link this site. Okay, and then you will see this entry right here. Okay, so so how does this Hack the Box work? So you have to go here, and if you select your what do you call this, your, let's say you go to home page. Let's say you disconnect from here. Okay, okay, right here. So you click on this user icon, and you see that you have solved some things right here. Okay, so whichever you solve here, either it is user flag or root flag or challenges, whichever you think. So once you solve it, go here to this account page and click on update. Okay, it doesn't have auto update like over the wire, so you have to manually click on this update button. Okay, so we have a user in the chat, Cersei. Hi, thanks for joining. And let me show you what happened last time. So last time, um, oh yeah, Hack the Box is better than Try Hack Me, right? But uh, uh, let's not deviate. Let's say what I wanted to say. So last time we finished Narnia, and we did not click on this. We did not use this command vchel. Okay, so previously we used to get like 130 some kind of points, but we did not get. So all of those points just lined up, and we have like 988 points upgraded. Okay, so this is the current ranking. You can see 234 and country ranking 39. So I kept 40 because I accidentally clicked on update right here, so I didn't want it to do that. So I see some score. So if I don't have this score, my score would be like rank 40 or something. Okay, so once you click on update, you will see something like this. Okay, so I clicked on update and I captured this instance. So I see 105 points, and I see 2 solved because it is a because once you solve a machine, you see user flag and you also see root flag, right? So it's like you solved two machines at the same time. So if you solve one machine, you will be solving two here, and you have these many challenges to complete in Hack the Box itself. Okay, and new challenges have been added since, and you can see 1612 right here. Okay, let me just zoom in. So you can see few machines and few challenges have been added, and this is my current score in Hack the Box. So I did not click on update but I have solved two more. Okay. So I will click on update once I show you how I solve the machines. Today we'll be seeing some retired machines. So let's click on machines, retired machines. And for this retired machines to be accessed, you need to have this connection. Okay, I have already connected to this machines, not starting point. So I need to download this VPN, and then I need to connect this VPN right here. Okay, just like we always do for starting point machines. So once that is done, you click on this icon and then it will be connected, and now you can uh, solve some machines. As you can see, these flags are in green, so I've solved these two machines. So today I'll be solving these two machines again, and yeah, so let's get started. uh, so I think Hack the Box is better than Try Hack Me. Yes, Ahmad, Hack the Box is like the king of this network hacking. So you have this machines and challenges, and this blue team section, which is Sherlock's, and so many other things that are coming up. And Hack the Box also has this job board, which Try Hack Me does not have. And if you click on job board, you'll be seeing all the applied jobs and all the other things like that. Okay, and you also have, what else you have? You have okay, so this Hack the Box is connected to VCHL. So that's a cool thing. You can increase your score, and you can increase your ranking using Hack the Box. That's a cool thing, right? So that actually helps. And you cannot see Try Hack Me right here, right? So Try Hack Me doesn't exist, and for that reason Try Hack Me, it doesn't help that way. And this Hack the Box is much much difficult than Try Hack Me. But without difficulty there is no value, right? So for that reason I prefer Hack the Box. And if you're new to this Hack the Box, go for starting point machines. We have already solved all the starting point machines which are freely available. Okay, so you can see all the walkthroughs in the playlist. Okay, so let's get started with the machines. Let's click on retired machines, because retired machines are the only ones we can actually show public walkthroughs. Okay, we should not show active machine walkthroughs. So let's click on 2 million right here. And Ind Bug Hunter says big fan, bro. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for your feedback. uh, Anyway, so let's get started with this 2 million. Okay, so join this machine. Okay, so previously I did not have all of these number of TCP ports and other things. I have this user flag and root flag. That's a good thing, but anyway, let's not solve all of these things. Let's just go directly and get the root user flag and root flag. Okay, so how do we do that? First of all, let's get your notes ready. And these are the standard things that we already followed, right? So let's keep that in mind. And what else we have? Okay, yeah, the directory. So let's create a 2 million directory, and let's open that in terminal. Right, so now we're ready. We already connected to VPN, right? So this is our IP address. So let's update the IP address right here. So sudo nano zshell rc. So this is the target IP, and what is our IP? If config turn 0, this is our IP. Copy that and paste it over here. So this is the benefit of using systems. Okay, so you can just hack really fast. Okay, so once this is done, and you have to update these domains and subdomains whenever necessary. So I'm just keeping them as it is, so I'm not updating them, right? So let's save it and use zshell. Okay, that would update this terminal, and now you can use echo $myip, echo $ip, and everything is updated, right? So I'm not using export command because export only updates this particular session. Let's say you want to open another terminal, you cannot see the exported value over here. So I use this zshell rc update. So this is what I use. um, so this actually helps to keep the variables in check. So we have a chat. So bro, I want to start bug bounty. I play so many challenges like try hack me. I solved around 200 rooms, and also Portsfigure I solved so many labs. Can you give me any advice? Okay, so this is the standard advice that I give to anyone. So whatever you solve, stick to one website. Okay, don't move from one website to another website. So complete one website. Let's say you take Portsfigure. Portsfigure is the standard, right? So everybody uses Portsfigure. So you complete the Portsfigure end to end, create your standard procedures like I did here, right? So this is for network pen testing. I use all of these things, right? So just like that, if you use for SQL injection, for any other particular vulnerability, so use that particular systems ready. Okay, so that you don't have to remember any kind of vulnerabilities or payloads or whatever, right? So uh, what yeah, so what was okay, so stick to one website, complete it, make your own systems ready, and then if you go and do bug bounties, everything is ready, right? So you just saw what I did, right? So let me just run the nmap scan, and I'll just continue with the process. Okay. Okay, so stick to one website. If you stick to hack the box, that's also good. I prefer Portsfigure because most of the applications that you're actually doing bug bounties are like any sort of applications, right? So this, you won't see network hacking uh, in this kind of bug bounty platforms. You see applications and you find a bug, or you find any mobile application or web application, right? So if you check this description which I have shown, we have our course as well. So if you're from India, you can actually access that course, and all of the labs we have explained everything in detail. And um, so yeah, back to the point. Stick to one website, do it end to end. Like, I think you have done some of the Portsfigure labs and some of the Try Hack Me labs, but not completing any of the website, right? So if you check this guy in Try Hack Me, and player 0 day. Okay. So this guy has fixed himself to be on rank 1 in one platform. Okay, so this guy is Ryan. He has his own website as well, pentester.com. So stuck himself to one website, which is Try Hack Me, and he also finished this Pentester Academy, but you don't have to go there. So he's always number one. No one can defeat this guy in this platform, right? So now he has lot of other gates that are open for him. So he has his own website, he has his own company, he has his own whatever that he is trying to do, right? So stick to one platform. Let's say uh, you know about Rana Khalil, right? So she only fixed herself to Portswigger Labs, right? So if you stick to one website, you will always see results. And some of the people use over the wire, but you cannot see like most people using over the wire, but over the wire is the foundation for a lot of things. So that's how we started as well. So now we are in a good place. So once you have the systems ready, you can just copy paste them. And if any other some extra things, some creative things needed, so there you need some skill. Okay, so currently like you have solved so many rooms, and also Portswigger has solved so many labs, and now you should be having, for each vulnerability you should be having your systems ready, so that you can just copy paste. Okay, let's say I saw a login page. What are the things I can check? I can check SQL injection, I can check authentication bypass, I can uh, check some things like what if I try to use some other usernames like admin default credentials, like information, these things are there, right? So just in login page, if you see a login page, what are the things you need to do? And you create your own kind of system, right? So if you do that for each scenario, you will be good to go. So let's continue with our thing. And copy, let me paste over here, and let me paste IP addresses as well. So this is IP for okay. We have another chat. Zarkar, my rank is around 800. Doesn't help much to getting a job, but good for practice. So okay, 800, is it okay? Yeah, it might be. I think most people don't realize that it's really good to have a country rank. Or I don't know, did you keep that in your CV or resume? Because if anyone is trying that, they should keep that in their CV. Okay, so back to this. So what is my IP? So let's use echo dollar my IP. Okay, cool. Okay, we have port 22, which is SSH, right? And we have port 80. Okay, so people usually call this kind of port 22 and port 80 as classic, because uh, once you have access to this website, now you can get a reverse shell and get some credentials, and then you can use this, okay, to actually log into that particular server. Okay, so so as you can see, did not follow the redirect 2 million .htb. So this is one of the domain you can check, right? So let's try without nmap scan results. Like let's say I don't have this domain. Okay, so I go to this URL IP address, and let me check. And as you can see, it redirects to 2 million.htb automatically. So why does this don't give any website? Because we did not save this domain to this IP address. So let's do that. So again, let's use sudo nano-zshell rc, okay, and update this domain, right? And let's save it, and zshell. Okay, now you don't have to worry. Let's go back to this systems that we have created, and for domain, you just update the domain first and then use this. Okay, So basically you're saying have a new line and percentage s, take the first IP address and give a tab character, and then you go for second string, which is dollar domain, and also add that in etc host. Okay, so dash a is append, so it's appending etc host. If you do not use this dash a, you're in trouble. This will update all etc host files, so make sure you have dash a. So that's it. Let's hit enter. So now it's updated. So if you go back and just reload this, now you have the website opened, right? Cool. Okay, we have another person in the chat, Ninath. I watch your maximum video of sports figure. Thank you. I want to do BSCB certification. Give me some tips to pass the first attempt. Okay, so my suggestion is create systems. Okay, so don't worry about uh, like standard things that you can actually copy paste, right? So if I have a payload like a quotation dash dash or a quotation hash for SQL check, so or if I use SQL map, I just say SQL map dash r and request.txt, and then so all of that is a standard process, right? So you don't have to remember, so don't give too much memory for random like default values, like what can I say, like there's some standards that you can simply just copy paste. So if you can copy paste, just do that. If it needs some creativity, only then try to remember those things. Okay, so that's all. That's the tip that I can say. So don't give too much memory for standard things. Okay, say for example I use all of this nmap scans and all of these standards, right? So create your own standards in such a way. Okay, so you'll be good to go. Okay, cool. So only give your memory for creative tasks. Okay, so okay, so let's go back, and here I see this, which is 2 million.htb. Look at the bottom left. I can see that if I just hover over this, I can see 2 million right here. Okay, so just hover over these things, and if you see a hashtag and some text, so just hashtag is nothing but it is a part of this web page. Okay, so just forget about those things. So we have hashtags, all of these are hashtags. Okay, so this is a login page, right? So I'm just opening it in a new tab. So it open, and in this page rest of the things are in this page. So you can see this YouTube link. Do you see any more links? Okay, so I see this link. Okay, 2 million.htb/invite. Any other links? Okay, so this is not a link, this is just a hashtag. Okay, okay, you don't see anything else. So these are some profiles, so you don't need to worry about the profiles. Okay, so these are just Facebook URLs and nothing. Okay, so only things that are useful are this login page and this invite page. Okay, so let's click on this invite page, join HTTP. Okay, so if you are new to Hack the Box, you don't know what this page is, right? If you are old to Hack the Box, you will have a deja vu, or you will have some kind of what do you say, you will try to feel like yeah, you reached this point and you don't know what to do. And you, if you have already done this level in your past, like, you know what to do, right? So first thing you do is hold on a second, let me see the chat. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks for asking the question, Nina. And feel free to watch more videos, it's okay. And you can also join our course, we have a course, right? And yeah. Okay. Let's go to login page and try to use some standard logins, right? So let's say I use this asdf at asdf.com and some random password. Okay, so asdf. So let's try to log in. Okay, user not found. Okay, if I use some user, let's say sometimes admin exists, so let's say something like hackthebox.com and some password. Let's say this user exists. Okay, so let's hit login. Okay, you still get the same thing, right? So most probably, even if the user is right and password is wrong, you get the same thing, right? So you need to create a user and use that particular user to log in. Okay, so let's go to this invite page. And one more thing, so if you don't remember your password, click here. Let's click here, let's see what happens. Okay, nothing happens. Okay, right. So to create a user, you need to basically sign up here using this invite link, and let's do that. Let's what's the invite code? I don't know. So let's use inspect element. Okay, this takes back actually. So let's see, network, and let's see what files do we get in this particular page. Let's reload. Okay, so you can see invite api.min.js. Okay, so for this invite code, this particular JavaScript may be used. Okay, so let's see, let's open this in a new tab. Okay, so we see this one. Okay, so this seems like it is obfuscated code. So if you don't see, just zoom in. So this is obfuscated code. You cannot possibly read anything right here. Okay, so let's try to deobfuscate it. So to deobfuscate, let's say JS beautify. Okay, sorry. So here we have online JavaScript beautifier. Okay, so if you don't know what this is used for a lot of things. You can just align these things in a correct order, or you can deobfuscate code and so many other things. Okay, so here you can see detect packers and deobfuscator. Okay, so click on this so that it will deobfuscate the code that we are writing over here. Okay, so paste it and you can see all the code in a single line, and click on beautify code, and as you can see, it just deobfuscated everything. Okay, so if you're not deobfuscating this, it will look in a different manner. Okay, just like this, you cannot understand anything, right? So click on this detect packers and deobfuscators, and again paste this whole thing and click on beautify code. Okay, now you see a whole different kind of code, right? So here you can see make invite code, so it will make invite code for us. Okay, so you can directly use this. Okay, go to this page and go to console, and you can just paste it right here. Okay, okay, so looks like you cannot paste it. Control C, Control V. Okay, it's not working. So let's type the whole thing. It is make invite code. Okay, cool. So make, okay, cannot see anything. What's happening? Okay, so make invite code. Okay, you can see. So this is a function. So let's give this brackets and hit enter. Okay, so now you have an object. Okay, 200 okay response, and you have this thing. Okay, some data and this is in rot 13, and you have all these things. Okay, cool. So another way to use this particular invite code is, so you can just go here and say curl dash okay, this is for VPN generate. Okay, hang on. So let's copy this whole thing and use rot 13. Okay, so how to copy this? Let's use Control C, rot13.com, or you can use cyberchef, it doesn't matter. Okay, so here it says, in order to generate the invite code, make a post request to this particular endpoint. Okay, so now we need to use this. So how to use that? Let's say curl dash x post request, and here you have all these things ready, but let's go back and let's change this to $domain, because we have already saved this in $domain, right? Okay, so what we're basically doing is we are sending a post request to this particular endpoint. Okay, so that's what this means. Okay, so let's send it. Okay, so now we have generated some code, and this is encoded. It doesn't say which format it is encoded, but if you see capital letters and small letters and some kind of equals to or numbers, all of these things, right? So you can safe to say that it is some kind of base 64 or some other base right here. Okay, so let's use cyberchef now. Let's see if we have any chat. Okay, so bro, what about programming languages? My biggest problem is coding. Even I try to learn Python but not. Okay. So for programming, I suggest this particular thing. You don't have to go beyond this exorcism. So if you know this website, this is really cool website. So here if you check the track Python, and you can join the track Python, you can create some you don't have to create a login page, like you don't have to log in or sign up, so just join Python track. Okay, so it's asking for this thing. Okay, cool. Okay, explore concepts. Okay, cool. So here you have master 17 concepts in Python, right? So you have basics, you have numbers, you have booleans, you have conditions. You can directly go to one of them and complete all of these things. Okay, so you, by the end of this, you will be really good with Python, right? You don't have to worry about how you do this. So let's say I want to go for loops. Okay, I click on loops. I see this notes. Okay, so I understand what it is. Once it is done, I go here and say learn. Okay, so make the grade. So this is a learning exercise. You click on this learning exercise and you, okay, so I think it's the same thing. Okay, okay, so it's just saying the whole thing. So it has to be some practice exercise. Okay. Okay, so it gave us some instructions. So this is how, this is the question and some edge cases and something else here. Okay, so use all of this description to create a code. Okay, so if you actually logged in, you will have to write the code and you have to submit it, and then it will give all the test cases and you will actually complete the task. Okay, so basically it will explore all of these 17 concepts, and other languages have a lot of other uh, points, but this website is straightforward, right? So you need to learn this, go directly into that particular area, and you have all these examples, and you have to solve this to actually complete some the learning process, right? So I suggest this thing. So if you're learning JavaScript, and you just remove this and say JS, I guess. Okay, so it's JavaScript, I guess. JavaScript. Okay. Content, 148 coding exercises, and how many concepts? Explore concepts. You see 33 key concepts. Okay, so JavaScript is more complex than Python, right? So it's obvious. So anyway, you do all these labs and you're good to go. And don't watch too much theory, and watch more and try to do more than see or listen more. Okay, so that's the best way to learn. And as you can see, our whole channel, all you can see is labs, so you don't see much of the theory part. So our subscribers are benefiting a lot from this channel. So that's really cool. So I prefer doing labs more than focusing on theory, because I believe that project will teach you more than the theory or classes or your lectures or whatever, right? So that's what I believe. And secondly, let's paste it. And I sent request to LinkedIn and you accepted it. You're so humble. If I need any guidance, I can connect to you in LinkedIn. Okay, yeah, Ninad. No problem. Okay, so from base 64 I'm changing this. So this is some kind of code, right? So this is probably the invite code. I can paste it over here. So too many questions today. It's gonna take a long time to solve this. Okay, cool. So sign up. Okay, so it allows me in. So let's zoom out, and let's keep the username as torhat, and let's keep let's say torhat at hmcyberacademy.com. Okay, so this is not a real email. So let me keep a real email. So support at hmcyberacademy.com, and let's give some password. This is not the actual password, so don't use it. To log into this username, astf1. Okay, cool. So register. Let me just save the username and password, because sometimes you forget. Torhat, and this is the path. Okay, sorry. So it is astf1, and support at hmcyberacademy.com. Okay, cool. So just copy this, paste it. Oh shoot. Okay. So astf1 and let's say remember me. Oh, remember me doesn't work. Okay, cool, it works. Okay, save it. Okay, so now I logged in as torhat. I see all of these things. So this is how the hack the box used to look like 5 or 10 years ago. Okay. So dashboard. So again, I do the same thing. So just hover over these things and you will see a lot of these pages, right? So this rules page doesn't have much thing. Okay, so I'm just going to just scroll through them. And one more thing before I jump into this. So I see this invite code, right? So what if I want to decode this code in the terminal itself? Like I don't want to go to base cyberchef and do all those things, right? So what I can do is I can just say this is a JSON format, right? So first of all I say JSON or let's say jQuery, right? And let's see what happens. Okay, so now you can see this whole thing in JSON format. Okay, so I don't want this text which is above here, so I can say JSON dash q. Okay, so sorry, so this is not the one. So I can just say I just want to show the data. So first of all, let's see the data, and for the data you can just say dot data. Okay, so here this is the one we need, right? So we said jQuery dot means in this you select data. Okay, so this is the key that we are selecting over here. Okay, so in this key we want to select another key, right? We want to select code. So let's say JSON jQuery dot data dot code. Okay, so now we see this thing only, right? So we don't want this quotations or double quotes or whatever. So what we can say is we want a raw format of this whole thing, right? So you can dash just say dash r, which will give raw format. Okay, so now you have this in raw format. So now you have raw format. All you can do is you can say base 64. It comes with the tools, right? So base 64 dash d. Okay, so you give this pipe symbol so that output of this will be the input of base 64 dash d. Okay, so now you can see that you have this thing right here. Okay, so that's one way to do it in terminal. If you don't want to do it in terminal, you can always go to cyberchef, and let's get back. Okay, okay, we don't have any more chat. Okay, cool. Okay, so what else we have here? Okay, so these are hashtags, so don't worry about them. So this one is slash access, slash home slash access. So let's check this out. Okay, so so they have these things over here. Okay, so let's see what we have in inspect element. So let's reload this page. Okay, there's a backend.js. Okay, cool. Let's click on one of these things. Okay, this is just regenerate button, so let's click on this downloads. Okay, so this actually downloaded this store header, this thing. Okay, cool. So okay, cool. So this is how you connect. Okay. One more thing. So previously we see that there is some API that's running over here, right? So let's try to use that API. Let's go to history. Let's see. We should be having some of these things right here. Okay, cool. Okay, so we see that API version 1 user VPN generate. Okay, so looks like there is some API that's running. So what we can do is send this to repeater, and let's try to remove these things one by one. Okay, so this is how you check for some other information in while using VPNs. Okay, so you need to give a space. So let's, okay, so moved permanently. Okay, this is 404 page. So let's remove some of these things. Okay, so again 404. So let's remove this. Okay, still 404. So let's go back. Okay, so we see some page over here. Okay, so it is API v1. Okay, so there is no forward slash. Okay, cool. So let's give v1 and send it. Okay, now we have all of these details over here, right? So let's look at admin section. So there is user section and there is admin section over here. Okay, so this is all for user. So we are already having user access, so we can use all of these things, but do we have admin access? So let's check this. So let's say let's duplicate this thing and let's check API v1 admin auth. Okay, so API v1 slash admin slash auth. Okay, send it. Okay, so it says a message equal to false, which means I don't have the authorization of an admin. Okay, so if I have authorization of an admin, so I might be having some other access as a Tor hat user, right? So let's see some more. I see post API VPN admin. Okay, VPN generate, we see already that. So let's see. Okay, so admin settings update. So let's see this. Let's duplicate one more. Okay, so this is authorization check. So let's say auth, and this one is settings update. Okay, so this one is actually using put request. Okay, so you need to change this get request to put request. Okay, so put we usually use for updating the database. Okay, so let's use admin.settings.update. So let's use that slash admin dot slash settings slash update, and let's see what happens. Okay, so it says status danger and invalid content type. Okay, so you need to have some content type over here, right? So what kind of content type are we looking for? So let's say somewhere around here, let's say content type. Okay, and you can always say application slash JSON. Okay, so I want to say application JSON format, right? So once you keep that, now the message has changed, missing parameter email. Okay, so we're actually missing some put request, so we need to update something, right? So let's keep this thing. Okay, so let's keep a JSON format of this email. Let's keep this email equals to something. Okay, so let's say support at hmcyberacademy.com, and this is the content that we're looking for, right? So okay, so now it is missing the parameter is admin. Okay, so copy this, go here, give a comma, and again give this variable, this key, and in this key, so is admin. So previously we got is admin equals to false, right? So let's keep true this time. So we want we want to make this email user as true. Okay, okay, so variable is admin needs to be either 0 or 1. Okay, so now it is saying 0 or 1, so I'm gonna say 1 and send it. Okay, so id 17 tor hat is admin equals to 1. So now we are admin. So can I replace this and send it send this request again, authorization? So previously it was false, now it should be true. Okay, so now we are admin. Okay, so now we have some more access right here, right? So what do we use this access for? So let me check some comments if I have any comments. Bro, can you start bug bounty? Okay. um Actually, there are a lot of things. um, I wanted to start uh, bug bounty, but I don't want to because money doesn't excite me that much. See, whatever I'm getting in the chat or in the comments, like you're the best teacher, or or you're the best person, like you teach, you go into details and so many other things, right? So that actually excites me more than bug bounty or any other thing. So if you want to learn bug bounty, you can take our course that actually teaches bug bounty in detail. So um, so if you check the course, like you will see all the modules, like so many modules we have covered, and that would actually help uh, in your getting bug bounty. So in bug bounty we have like in that course I have explained that um, bug bounty, like the process of how you can create systems for each vulnerability, and uh, how to approach a vulnerability. So it's not like you just copy paste it. Like you have to copy paste some mundane things, some regular things that you usually do, but for other things like some creative stuff, you need to learn what this particular thing is doing. So for that you have to create systems. For, like, for example, I can, let's say, um, let's say SQL injection. So for SQL injection, I initially try some standard things, and I also use Portsfigure SQL cheat sheet, and I also check if any certain uh, any certain, let's say, parameter or URL or post request is vulnerable to SQL injection. I just save that request and send it to SQL map. And for SQL map, I have a standard this thing, right? So SQL map command, I don't have to remember the command. So I save all of this into particular SQL injection process. So if I have any doubt on any vulnerability, I have a process for each one, right? So just like I have a process for this network pen testing, right? So I don't have to remember all this, and I don't have to roam around and find out what to do next. Or so this is what I do. I create systems and I just copy paste them, and it will almost always works. Okay, so create these things for each vulnerability, and you're good to go. You can actually go with bug bounty with ease. Okay, so this is what I prefer. And if you have any questions, you can always ask. Right? Like, can we go back? Any more chats? I don't see anything. Okay. Okay, so all right, so settings update has been done. And okay, so okay, we do have this post request, right? A admin VPN generate. So let's use that again. So generate, and let's see what this one actually does. Okay, so this one is a post request, so you need to change this to post. Okay, so admin, and then what is that? VPN generate. Click on this VPN generate. Okay, so invalid content type, we have already kept some content type right here, so let's copy that and paste it somewhere around here and send it. Okay, we have a username parameter to be added. Okay, cool. So let's say username and let's say Tor hat. This is the username, right? Okay, Okay, so now it's trying to dump something. Okay, so this is probably a VPN file, right? So it is generating a VPN, so that's its role. Okay, so how can we use this to do some things? Okay, so it's basically it's kind of catting us, like it's using some cat command to dump everything right here, right? So let's say if it is using cat command, and if I exit this using a semicolon, and what if I use my own command, let's say who am I, and to end the rest of the payload I'll just use hashtag. Okay, so let's send it. Okay, so as you can see, I can see dub data over here. Okay, so which means this particular command actually executed, right? So I can use command injection right here. So what can I do? So now I have access to this, right? So let's go to Pentest Monkey. Okay, and if you check reverse shell, okay, shells, okay, reverse shell cheat sheet. Okay, so I have all of these payloads. So let's use first one, and before that let me say which bash. Okay, it has slash user slash bash. Okay, so now I can use bash command and execute this. Okay, so I will get a reverse shell. So let me use netcat nlvp 8888. Okay, so I always just use the same thing, so I don't have to worry about it. So so this is the power of systems. Okay, so you don't have to remember the command. So what is the IP address? It should be my IP address. Okay, so the server is trying to connect to us. So what is my IP? So you can always use echo dollar my IP, but I have saved it over here, so I'm using this. So pasting it over here, and let's send it. Okay, so we should be having a reverse shell. Okay, we did not have a reverse shell, so why is that? So okay, so let's try to encode the whole thing. Let me see if this actually works. Okay, it doesn't work, right? So what do? We change the payload. Let's remove everything, and let's go back. Let's use netcat. If it has netcat, we need to find which netcat, and let's see if it has netcat. Okay, it has netcat. So I'm removing this, pasting this, and let's say the IP address should be this. Hang on a minute. And let's go back. Paste it over here, and 8888. Send it. Okay, still nothing. So something is blocking either this thing, or either we don't have this or something. Okay, so we can use some other payload. So let's use this. So this one is actually using netcat. Okay, so let's change the IP address. So the IP address is this, and port 8888, and let's send it. Okay, now it is just hanging over there, which means we should be getting a reverse shell. Okay, so this is not a stable shell. So just after we get a reverse shell, what we need to do, we need to go for standard process. So this is what I do. So let me check if Python exists. Okay, which Python 3? Python 3 exists. So I use this. I know that bash already exists, so Okay, now we have a bash, and let's say this control Z to suspend it but not close it, and let's use this. And now I have this command back again, and export term equals to xterm, and now we have a stable shell. Okay, so you can clear it, control C it, nothing will happen. Okay. Okay, cool. So once you have a shell, I think you should be having access to the user flag. Okay, it's admin. Okay, let's say ls-home/admin. Okay, so I have user.txt, so let's cat this. Okay, okay, sorry. So cat/home/admin/user.txt. Okay, permission denied. So you don't have permission to access this user.txt. Cool. So what do you have access to? Right? So let's see. We have, okay, so I answered the bug bounty question. Let's see what this admin user has access as. Okay, let's say find slash user admin, and let's send the output to /dev/null. Okay, so this is error output, so you don't receive any errors. You will receive only the user access of, like, whichever this admin user can access. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we get so many things we don't want. So what do? Let's use something that is not proc or something. Okay, cool. We have all the CVEs. We have, okay, looks like we have something over here, right? Okay. What is this? And there is a temp.password.back. We have all these other things which admin can access. So let's see what this one is first. Okay. Okay, we can read write, and we can read write this. Okay, so let's cat this thing. Okay, so it says admin at 2million.htb, patch system OS, and know you're working as fast as you can for DB migration. While we are partially down, you can just upgrade the OS. And okay, we have something called overlay FS. We don't know what this is, right? So what do? We just Google it. And let's also keep exploit. Okay, so we have some exploit over here. So let's look for some kind of proof of concept in this particular CVE. Okay, let's detect proof. Okay, there is proof of concept, and let's see. Okay, where is it? There should be some proof of concept. Okay. Okay, they're only saying how the vulnerability works. Okay, here we have a link. Okay, cool. So let's click on this. Now we have vulnerability for this. Okay. So what we basically do is you just download the whole thing and go and say make all, and okay, just convert them into English. You can actually do that, and then what you have to do is Mm, okay, I need to use another extension for conversion of these things, or let's say Google Web Converter, or else let's say website converter. And let's give this website. Okay, it's just a document. Go to Google Translate. Websites, website, let's go. Allow pop-ups. Okay. Should be converting this text to English. Okay, so we can say compile. So for compile you use make all and use start two terminals, enter this in first terminal, and start second terminal, enter this in second terminal. So do we need two things? Okay, cool. So let's go back and let's see how we can exploit this thing. Okay, so this is one way to check if that exploit exists. So what you basically do is you can say unshare dash dash user dash dash map dash user and then 0. So if you do this, it will actually convert you to a root user, and if you type id, it will say it is root, but still you don't have root access. Okay, so if you have root access, you should be able to access this file, right? root/root.txt. Should be able to access this, but it says permission denied. But because it always remembers the previous owner, like whoever is logging in, which is WebApp data, right? So you cannot do this, so you have to manually run this. So for that you can say mktemp -d. It will create a temporary directory and give all the permissions to this. Let's say chmod 777 to this and cd to this. Okay, and let's say which wget. It should be having wget, so we can use wget to upload some files here, right? So what do? Let's go back to this and let's download this thing. Okay, we have a make file right here. So okay, we can download a zip file. So let's click on this. Okay, let's open this. Control C, open to where you're actually saving it. Let's say save it in desktop, hack the box, machines 2 million, and paste it. Okay, and I also extract the whole directory over here. Okay, I just dragging and dropping, so it is extracted. So what you have to do is you have to send this file to the target machine and then do all these things. Okay, so make all make and then you can you have to execute all these commands in the target machine. Okay, so let's send this. Let's rename it and say asdf.zip so that you can send this really fast. And let's open a new terminal and let's say Python 3 HTTP server. Now you're actually running a HTTP server, so send this server to that. So you use wget http :/ and then what is my IP address. So let's give this. Okay, hang on. TP:// what is the IP address? 2 million. This is the IP address and port 8000, right? So this is running on port 8000. And what is that file? The file is asdf.zip, right? So let's get this file. Okay, invalid hostname. Why is it invalid? Oh, there's something else over here. Okay, so wget http:// and then IP address colon 8000 and then asdf.zip. Okay, now I got the file. Okay, so yeah. So if I type ls, I can see that file. So I can say unzip asdf.zip. So I'm just extracting in the same directory. Excuse me. Okay. Cool. So just hit enter. Okay, it is extracted. Now you have more files. Okay, we have this directory. So let's go to this directory, cd this, and let's say make all. Okay, now use this, make all. Okay, gcc, no such file or directory. We don't have gcc. Which gcc? Okay, we have gcc. Interesting. Why don't we have access to this? Okay, so it's probably because we're still dub data. So let's do one thing. Let's save this directory. And okay, let's save the whole thing. Why not? Okay, so let's use slash var/html/ okay slash. Okay, this is where the web server is, right? So www html. Okay, cool. And I see a lot of database.php. Okay, let's see what that is. Get this. Okay, so it just understands and remembers the database. Okay, cool. Let's check this index.php. Cat this. Okay, such a big file. No problem. Okay. Okay, right here. So the session starts and it's checking for controller name, grep match, name.php, and okay, cool. Okay, we have db host, database, username, database, and everything. Okay, API routes. Okay. Is admin. Okay. Let's check something else. So let's type ls. Okay, let's type ls-al. Okay, so we have another thing called slash dot env. Okay, so let's do let's see what this is. Okay, so we have username password for admin user. Okay, so let's save this. Let's say admin has super duper pass 123. Okay, so this is the user, right? So I do have this user right here. So what I can do is I do have SSH connection. So I can use this username and password to connect to SSH. Okay, so let's say SSH and say admin at $IP. Okay, and let's see, it's asking for fingerprint. Let's say yes, and super duper pass one to let me in. Okay, so it lets me in. Okay, cool. So let's do the same thing here as well. Okay, it looks like it crashed. So let's close it and open it again. SSH admin at $IP, asking for password. Okay, so now we have two terminals. So let's go back to that particular terminal. I mean that location, which is this. cd this and cd this as well. Okay, so if I type ls, I can see I have a make file. So I think now GCC can access as this user. Okay, so let's try to use make all. Okay, now it's running. It says permission denied. Why? Okay, nothing happened actually. So looks like this user needs to have his own directory, I guess. Okay, cool, no problem. So let's use -al. Anybody? Okay, anybody cannot do anything with this directory. Okay, so this user has to have his own directory. mktemp-t control C, cd this, chmod 777 this. Okay, now let me just copy asdf.zip. I think asdf.zip exists, right? Okay, let's go back to previous directory. This is where asdf.zip exists. So let's see, copy asdf.zip to this particular location. And if I type ls, I see that file. I say unzip asdf.zip. I can see that file, and let me just cd this as well. Okay, so now I cd to cve and I see all of this, and I say make all. Okay, something happened. So using the open this requires runtime shared libraries, glib libraries using links link. What should I do? Yes, I make, still nothing. So let's try these things manually. Paste it, enter. No such file xpc. Why? Oh, cdcv, sorry. Now you have it. Okay, looks like something happened. We have some files. I didn't see that. Sorry. Okay, so what I can do now is just go here and say in first terminal use this and in second terminal use this. First terminal is running, second terminal it should be running. Now I got something over here. Okay, I got a shell. Okay, cool. So who am I? I'm root. And now I can access both the flags. Okay, so slash cat slash home slash admin slash user.txt cat slash root.txt. Okay, so this is how you get user and root flags. And once you update user and root flags right here, this should be done. And once this is done, go here and say update. Okay, so it does not update automatically, you have to update manually. Okay, so okay, done. Okay, we have another comment by Cersei asking, I want to pursue cybersecurity field. So from where should I start? Can you tell me? Absolutely. So if you're just starting out, you need to have some foundations. So number one foundation is okay. So let me tell you like this. So hacking is like hacking or any other cybersecurity thing is like you are performing an act. Okay. So let's say you're kind of dancing or singing or whatever you're doing. So hacking is similar to that. So where do you perform all these things? You perform these things on a platform, right? On a stage, right? So you need to be familiar with the stage or the platform, or else what will happen, you go to the stage, you see everything in front of you and you get overwhelmed and you cannot sing or dance or you cannot do anything, right? So similarly, the same thing happens with the platform. So platform, I mean, you have to learn Linux. Okay, so as you can see, we're currently using this Linux box right here, right? So so you have to be good with Linux, or else you will get overwhelmed. You will feel overwhelmed. You cannot do anything in any part of cybersecurity. Okay, so this is the platform you need to be good at. So secondly, for to in cybersecurity, you're trying to connect to some other nodes or computers or servers or switches or whichever that is, you're trying to connect it, make it secure, or you're doing that, right? So in order to connect securely and in order to connect um, any such thing, like as you can see, we have used all of these kind of commands right here, right? So you have to know each command. Like for example, I'm using rm command here, and I'm saying mk FIFO command over here, and I'm catting that command with the bin bash, okay, with shell. So you need to learn all of these things so that this particular command will actually connect and give us a reverse shell. Okay, so you need to know that how to connect to a host or a target, and how to get some data from it, or actually get some kind of privileges. So basically all of this comes under networking. Okay, so first you need to learn Linux, second you need to learn networking, and once you have these two, you can actually go through and search for other things by just googling. Okay, you don't have to learn, you don't have to be an expert. So let's say you got stuck anywhere. Let's say I have this error, so I don't know what to do. So it says rm mount path or something, so I just go there and just google it, and I'm just seeing if it is just a warning or is it just an error. Okay, so if it is just a warning, I can ignore it. Okay, so just like that, I ignored this and I actually exploited the whole thing and it worked, right? If it is some error, then you need to worry about what that error is, right? So basic stuff, you don't have to go, like you don't have to be a wizard or whatever you're doing. Okay, I'm coming to programming. Yes. So once you have Linux, once you have this networking, and you need to learn a little bit about hardware as well. So by hardware, what do I mean? So how much RAM do I allocate to this virtual machine? So how many processors should I allocate to this virtual machine? So how if I connect an USB, let's say USB adapter, let's say Wi-Fi adapter or something like that, is that Wi-Fi adapter compatible with the Linux machine which I have installed? So basically all these compatibility issues that is required for hardware area. So if you are good with that area, then you're good with hardware, right? You don't need to know much about all these things. So most of these things are actually covered, like you just have to learn basic stuff about these things, about hardware. So once you have these three ready, next you need to learn a little bit about cryptography, how this encryption works, how SSH actually works, and how how can I what are the multiple ways I can connect to SSH, or basically how the encryption or decryption works, how this HTTPS works. What if I don't have HTTPS? What if I only have HTTP? Like let's say for example, as you can see, this only has HTTP, doesn't have HTTPS, right? So uh, finding these things which have encryption, and which you can actually, let's say this one requires knowledge of decoding, right? So this is encoded, so this should be decoded. So how do I know? So just basic stuff. If I can see capital letters, small letters, and numbers around 9, 0 to 9, so it's probably base 64 and some extra characters. As you can see, A to Z, and 0 to 9 plus forward slash equals to. These characters come under base 64. So everything is available. So this is about cryptography. Once this is done, now if you want to learn programming, you can, because it is a force multiplier. So let's say uh, I want to just automate the whole thing. I don't want to just do all of these step by step. I just want to run a Python, and then I create a Python script, and I just want to run it, and everything should happen automatically for me. So if that is the case, then you need to learn about programming. So for programming is only force multiplier of whatever you learned in the previous things, like the foundations. Right? So Linux, networking, whatever, some cryptography, some hardware issues or compatibility issues, and now if you combine all that in a Python program, and you do that step by step, and you're good to go, right? So that for that reason you have to learn programming, right? If it is C program, you just need to learn how to use the program, right? So what does this GC actually mean? What does this mean? What does this mean, right? So what does this make all actually mean? Right? So you need to learn how. You don't have to go into depth of the programming and become a programming master or something. You need to have at least a basic knowledge of how to run a program, how to just open and see the lines, and just don't get overwhelmed by it, and all of these things, right? So just basic stuff. For that, I said I actually use exorcism, right? So if you go to this, it has a bare minimum of like 140 exercises, but exploring concepts, so only 17 concepts in Python. So basics, numbers, all of these booleans, conditions, strings, comparisons, all. If you do this much, you're good with programming. You're above intermediate, I can say. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, John Wick is asking the same thing. How do I start cybersecurity roadmap? So I just told you, like once you have Linux, networking, cryptography, and little bit of hardware, and you can use programming to combine all that and do this. You just go back 5 minutes earlier and you know all this programming. And after you have this foundation, now you focus on vulnerabilities. Like let's say I want to use SQL injection. So how do I use SQL injection? Now you have to go into depth of each vulnerability and create a systems, and and so that you can just copy paste those payloads. And once that is done, you just keep that vulnerability and try to find some bugs using that vulnerability. And most of the corporate what do you say bug bounty programs, they are already fix basic payloads. So you need to go dig deep and go for advanced payloads, and you need to find something. So for that you need some creativity, nothing else. And that creativity actually comes by doing lot of exercises and lot of labs. And you see our YouTube channel has lots and lots of labs, and you can just go through all the labs, and you can actually do really well if you follow this path. Okay, and that's it, we have done this lab. Let's go here and let's update this, and let's say rank 39. So say rank 39 and updating this rank. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next one. So next one, I want to go and do some challenges. Okay, so let's go to some challenges, and I can see some challenges like photon lockdown and last dance. So which one should I pick? Any audience? Which one should I pick? Let me see. Okay, let's pick the first one. Let's pick photon lockdown. Okay, I have already solved this photon lockdown. So basically, let me just remove them. The box challenges, crypto. Okay, so let's remove this. This is last challenge, photon lockdown, and remove this. Could not delete war. Okay, skip. Okay, cool. Okay, so if you download this photon lockdown.zip, so if you click on this download files, you will be downloading this. Okay, so if you open this, you should be having this ONT. So let me open that in a different directory. Copy this, and it's asking for a password. I have no idea what password this is. What is the password? Okay. So what do we do when we don't have a password? Okay, let's click on this. Okay, okay, the zip password is hack the box. Okay, cool. So I copied this. And again, going back to challenges and crypto, not crypto, hardware, photon lockdown, and this, and the password is hack the box. Okay, cool, it is done. So now you have these things. Okay, so let's copy this, paste it, exit over here. Okay, exit again, and move here and close this. Okay, cool. So now you have these three files. Let's say AL. Okay. So these things don't have much data in them, right? But this one is actually having some data. So let's see what kind of files they are. So if you type file asterisk, it will go and replace each file here, and it is going to check which kind of file that is. Okay, so let's see what it is. So this one is ASCII text. So this one is an archive data, and this one is a squashfs file system. So what is a squashfs file system, and how to use this squashfs file system? So squashfs is this. It is a compressed read-only file system for Linux. Squashfs compresses files, inodes, directories, and support something like this. Okay, so to use this rootfs, I mean the squashfs file system. Okay, sorry, Cersei, we already started this photon lockdown, uh, but we will do the dance. Okay, so sorry. And let's see. So for this, we need to have a tool called unsquash fs. Okay, so if you don't have this unsquash fs, you just have to hit unsquash fs and hit enter, and it will actually ask, should I install this unsquash fs, or yes or no. So sudo apt install will automatically pick up that unsquash fs and it will install us. Okay, so okay, so unsquash fs, and oh cool, and you have to give this rootfs. So let's see. Okay, so now it created all of these things. Interesting. So if I type ls, I see this directory again. Okay, so this is a new directory. So let's go to the directory. Okay, so one more small trick. If you are in Z shell, which I'm currently at, so if I type echo $shell, it will say Z shell. Okay, if I'm using Z shell, or if I'm using Kali Linux or this HM Cyber Academy OS, I can just paste that directory right here. Okay, so I don't have to use cd and then this. Okay, so I've already changed this directory, and if I type ls, I can see all of them. Interesting. So I want to check something that relates to hack the box. So how do I check it? So let's go back, and if I, okay, let's click on submit flag. Okay, okay, we don't have much information of what kind of flag that is. So basically if you know some string, okay, so let's try, let's say if you know some kind of password or something, let's say this is the string. So let's check hack the box. So this is the string that I want to check. Okay, so where I am checking is in this directory. Okay, in this directory I see a lot of subdirectories and lot of files. Okay, so it's like 440 files created, 445 subdirectories. I don't want to check all of these things, right? So what I do is I recursively grab everything that's related to hack the box. Okay, and let's hit enter, and I see this file has something. Okay, and you can just ignore the binary files because we don't want to just ignore them. So let's see what this file is. Let's say nano this, and it is empty. Okay, so what do we do? Let's use this recursive grep, and as you can see, this hack the box. Okay, so this is the actual file. Sorry, so this is the actual file. In this file, this is the string that it actually brought. Okay, so this dash r will recursively check for this exact string, but we don't want but if you don't want to check this case sensitiveness, so I just use dash I, which will just say case insensitive. So now you can actually get some more things like a capital HTB. So let's hit enter. Okay, so now you see this particular thing, right? So it looks like a flag, right? So you can, as you can see, I also tried to check password, right? Password right here. Okay, it's not there. So you can recursively check something that relates to password, something relates to hack the box machine, and this is how you solve this. Okay, open this and submit the flag and give some rating, and you're good to go. Okay, okay. Once you've done that, go back to VTEL and update it over here. Okay, so let's go back to challenges and let's go to this, and let's go to last dance. Okay. So how to solve this last dance machine? Let's go back, challenges, crypto, last dance. Okay, so let's extract this. It is asking for a password. The password would be same, hack the box. Okay, it is extracted successfully. Now okay, now you have this source.py and out.txt. Interesting. So let's open this in a mousepad. Okay, someone asked for a programming question, right? How do I implement programming and everything? Okay, yeah, you need to have basic understanding of Linux. So grep is actually a basic command. So grep is global regular expression print. So this will actually select some string from some file. Okay, so let's say I want to use this file and I am looking for a string called password. Okay, and it will just show all the instances where the password is. Okay, so if I use it recursively like I did here, it will check the whole file system from this location. Okay, basically it checked everything inside these directories and it just printed out this instance where hack the box exists. Okay, so that's how you actually got. So okay, so let's get back. Cd dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash and cd crypto, and you can see last dance, cd this, and okay. So you asked for how do I use this. I don't know anything about these things, right? So if you do that exorcism, you will know how to use functions. You will know how to use what do you say, this libraries, and how to use all of these things right here. Okay, so this one is the main function. So the program starts from here. Okay, so these all this import and functions, so they will be there, but they they will not be active unless they are called. Okay, so here we are trying to use this message variable to store all of them in some kind of binary format, I guess. Okay, so we're storing all of these things, and if you see plus equals to, so this is actually the it is just trying to append this to this. Okay, so basically what you're trying to do is okay, let me say challenges and subnode last dance. Okay, so I have this, and continuation of that is this, and continuation of that is this. Okay, so this is the entire message of this message variable. Okay, so now it is saying some os.urandom. So os is a library, which you can get it from here. So you're importing OS, and from OS you're selecting urandom function. Urandom function will get some random value and keep it inside key and comma, which you can see comma over here, and the second one will go into this. Okay, so IV is basically initialization vector, and this is the key. Okay, so if you see here, encrypted message, and you give the message, you give the key, you give an initialization vector, and you encrypt the message. Okay, and here it's the same thing. You're giving the flag, you're giving the key, you're giving the initialization vector, and you're actually encrypting and saving it in encrypted flag.txt. Okay, and finally you're converting everything into hex format. Okay, so initialization vector dot hex, and in the next line you're saying encrypted message dot hex, and in the next line you're saying encrypted flag dot text. Okay, so you're actually doing that and saving this in this variable. Okay, and sending this variable into write data function. Okay, so write data function will output into, and I mean it will open this file as f, and then f dot write will write the write the data, which is basically the encrypted form and basically hex format of all of these things. Okay, so if you go back and if you open this in mousepad, you should see 3 lines. Okay, so this is the initialization vector, and this is the message, and this is the flag. Okay, all of them are encrypted. So how are they encrypted? Where is it? Okay, so source.py. So if you see cha-cha 20, so it's probably XOR. Okay, a stream cipher. So it's a stream cipher which is using some kind of 256-bit key or something, salsa 20 algorithm. So this is where the last dance actually comes. Okay, so let's go back, and what is this actually doing? It's a stream cipher, right? So stream ciphers, one of such stream cipher is using some kind of key and initialization vector, right? So let's go back to CyberChef. And in this CyberChef, you're actually trying to use, let's use something like, okay, let me explain what XOR vulnerability. Okay, so XOR is. So, okay, cool. Okay, it's taking too much data. Hang on a second. Okay, so XOR actually works in this way. Okay, so plain text 1, and if you XOR it with plain text 2, that should be equals to ciphertext. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. So plain text, XOR it with some key, you should get ciphertext. Okay, so ciphertext is an encrypted format of this plain text. Okay, so XOR is just some kind of stream cipher, you can say. Like it would just select each character and try to XOR it. And okay, so if you see XOR table, so this is how it actually works. Okay, so let me open one of the, okay, so this is good. So let me open this. Okay, it's just stuck. Okay, anyway, so if you get 0 and 0, you should get 0, 0 and 1, you should get 1, 1 and 0, it should get 1. Okay, so if you're just alternating these things, then you should get 1. If you're using same things, you should get 0. Okay, and to the bottom you should get 1 and 1, it should be 0. Okay, so you should be learning this in some area of your life, but anyway. So if you use XOR this key with the plain text, you should get ciphertext. Okay, so let's say such ciphertext, like let's say plain text 1, ciphertext 1, and let's copy this and paste it over here and say ciphertext plain text 2 and ciphertext 2. Okay, so if you're having this kind of scenario, because we do have it, okay, so if you see this, so this is plain text 1, okay, and flag is plain text 2. Okay, so we have two plain text. Okay, we don't know plain text 2, right? So if you try to XOR it, plain text 1 with plain text 2, and that should be equals to the XORing of ciphertext 1 to ciphertext 2. Okay, so this is mathematically possible. Okay, and you don't know the key, you know the ciphertext 1 and ciphertext 2, and you know the plain text 1. Okay, so this plain text 2 is basically flag, and this is message. Okay, so so if you take message and XOR it with flag, you should get ciphertext 1 XOR it with ciphertext 2. Okay, so if I want to know what flag is, then what I do is I say ciphertext 1 XOR ciphertext 2, and again XOR it with, sorry, with this message. Okay, so if you use this kind of math, you should get what flag is. Okay, so let's try to find out what this is. So let's go back, and let's go back. So let's replace these values with this. Okay, so this is let's say this is ciphertext 1 is this one, right? Yes, this is the ciphertext, and this is the ciphertext 2. Okay, and this is the message. So basically you're doing this, and you should get a flag. It is interesting, but it looks cool, but once you try it, like, it should be really cool. Okay. Anyway, so what you have to do is you have to say XOR, and you're not using XOR brute force, you're just using XOR. And what key you're using is you're using some hex format of let's say, hang on a second, where is this? Interesting. Okay, so this is the first one, right? So let's copy this and give it as key. Okay, so you're giving this as key, and you are XORing it with what? You're XORing it with this. Okay, and okay, so sorry. So this is the final XOR. So anyway, so secondly, so what do you need to give? You need to give this, right? So let's give this and use it as key, and here you're mentioning hex. Okay, so what's happening is this is the first one, and this is XORing it with this, and this is XORing it with the final text, which is here. Okay, so if you do this in the same format, you should get the flag. Okay, so understand stream cipher is simple as that. Okay, so that's what this means. So if you just paste it over here and submit flag, you should be able to get that. Okay, and once it is done, you should go here and update this. Okay, next let's go to machines. Let's go to retired machines, and now I'm going to do the next retired machine, which is lame. Okay, so let's go here, click on lame. Okay, so let it run. Let's go adventure mode and join machine. Okay, let's see chat. Okay, okay, next, what's the next thing we can do? Okay, we have the IP address. We are still connected to this, so let's change these things. Let's see cd dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot slash and cd machines and let's say lame less, it's clear. And now sudo nano z shell rc. Let's change the IP address to this and let's save it, and let's not care about the domains as of now. Let's remove all of these things. Okay, cool. So let's use nmap. Okay, let's use C shell first. Okay, so now this is updated. Now let's say nmap. It should work. Okay, we have so many of these things, and as you know that 139 and 445 are actually SMB. Okay, so you can start pen testing right away and say SMB client, and you can say IP, and then okay, so first of all let's list them and $IP. Okay, so you're listing the shares. Okay, so just hit enter. You're giving a blank password. Okay, so now you can see some shares over here. Okay, so these are the shares that are available in that particular IP address. Okay, or the target machine. So as you can see, IPC and print, these are some print drivers. So these are all some disks. So these are some standards, and OPT is also part of the root directory, I think root slash OPT, and EC slash TMP, right? And it has onos. So this is the comment. So there's one more thing you can do. You can actually say SMB client, or you can say SMB map, and use this -h, which is the host, and then just give the $IP, and let's see what happens. Okay, okay, so as you can see, so it is authenticated, and print has no access, and the TMP has the read and write access, and OPT has no access, and IPC also has no access. Okay, so this is where you can actually read and write. So what you can do is SMB client and backward slash backward slash backward slash backward slash, and again backward slash, and then TMP. Okay, so this is where you're actually logging in. Okay, so login successful, and if you type ls, I can see so many files, and these files don't have anything, and x.log has something. Okay, this has some data. So yes, okay, there's no one in the chat. Okay, so once you have this SMB client, you can do one thing actually. So let's go and see nmap scan results. And let's see script starting. There's nothing here. Net BIOS host check. Okay, it's 445 139 SSH RSA, which means SSH connection is available. Okay, there's FTP as well. Okay, cool. So let's try to use FTP, anonymous at IP, and anonymous. Okay, login successful. Okay, there's nothing. Okay, so searching further is no point. So let's do one thing. Okay, they have given this domain name as well. Okay, so this is the name. Fully qualified domain name is this. Interesting. So let's do one thing. If you have an SMB connection, so you can just use this. Okay, so you can just log on and you can say / equals to, which means you're actually trying to execute something and trying to log into something. Okay, so use netcat and say the IP address. What is my IP address? Okay, so my IP address should be here. Control C, Control V, and space, and you can say execute. Okay, you have to give the port, which is 8888, and execute /bin/sh. Okay, so since you can authenticate and everything, so you can try to log in to that user with the user currently you're logging in, to connect to this server, which is us, and execute shell, which would pop up a shell right here. So it should do it. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's asking for a password. Let's give blank password. Okay, look at that. Connect this. Okay, so if I type who am I, root. Oh my god, I'm root. Okay, so let's say cd, let's say cat slash, okay, let's say ls/home. Okay, we have so many things, so this seems like it's different. So let's say cat/home/ what do you say, marquis/user.txt. okay, now we have user.txt. So cat/root/root.txt. okay, now you have user and root. Okay, so keep that user flag and root flag and paste it over here and just update it. And once it is done, you go here and click on update over here. Okay, so this should update the score because we have already solved so many other things as well, so it should update us something. Okay, so click on update. Wait for it. It's actually taking a lot of time. But it should update us with some points, because there's no manual update. There's no auto update. You have to update it manually. Anyhow, let's check the score. Okay, look at here. We got 117 points right now just for solving it. Okay, so let's click on the store hat or just refresh it. Okay, now the current rank is 24119. So let's change this, paste it, and hit OK. Hey bro, Rishi Rathod. Anyway, the country rank is 39, so 39 is already updated. So okay, So this is how you use Hack the Box to actually increase your score. So let's click on ranking. Okay, this is where I am. Oh my god, just a little bit and I could by cross this person and get some other rank. Okay, okay, it's gonna be exponentially difficult from here to gain ranks, okay, because everyone is kind of a pro. So it's very difficult to gain ranks anyway. So that's about this video. So if you enjoy it, give a like, give a subscribe, and check out the description for additional details. And um, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.